G'day everyone, you found the champ dog, congratulations, so proud of all of you. So I got a real quick video for you today, and as you can see I am joining the dark side and playing rogues. I actually really like this list. I've played around with various rogues lists since Zendikar came out. I was pretty excited to get into it, but I just haven't had a lot of success. I've had periods of success, but struggled to find a list that I like. So this list you're going to see today is by Paulo Vito Damadosa. He did a really excellent article and write-up about this for Star City Games a little while ago. Talked about his card decisions leading into whatever tournament that was, how he approaches different matchups, sideboarding guide, why he made certain decisions, etc, etc. It's a fantastic article. If you have the Star City Games subscription, go check it out. If you don't have the Star City Games subscription, I think it's worth it. It's really not that expensive. Anyway, today's video is going to be super short. The intro is going to be short. I'm not going to have an outro. I made a few little boo-boos with my editing and uploading schedule. So I need to basically rush this one out so that I can put it together and put it up for you all tonight. I'm a little bit time poor today. I have a lot of errands to run and something on in the afternoon. So I'm just going to quickly record this intro, show you a couple of videos, and then disappear into the night. But I will have more videos coming up over the next few days, and you will see a bit more of this list later on as well. These games are actually played after the games that you're going to see in the next couple of videos that I put up. But as I said, I made some mistakes, so I'm just rushing this one out. Also, just a quick note, the second game in this video, so it's going to be two games. The second game, our opponent actually disconnects at the end, which normally I would not put up a video like that, where, you know, I win because my opponent disconnects. I probably would have won anyway. I think. I mean, I always think I'm going to win, right? I normally wouldn't put up a video like that, but I feel like there's some useful commentary earlier in the match. I was really trying to talk through and think through and explain through some of my plays, so I think there's some value there. So I've kept it in anyway. It's just a bit of an unsatisfying ending to an otherwise good match. So be forewarned. Anyway, I'm just going to throw you guys straight into the video. As I said, I'm a little pressed for time, but thanks for tuning in. Love you all, stay brilliant, be kind to each other, and keep your eyes on the channel the next few days. There will be more videos coming up through the holiday period. Appreciate you all, guys. Stay brilliant. Okay, I really need to put a sleeve on this deck. This hand sucks, doesn't it? The early Ruin Crab is nice, but not having lands is a bit of a deal breaker. This is not hugely better. I think I actually put back the passage. I think I do still lead on the wind rubber. Yep. Mammoth. Oh, nice to get rid of that. So obviously we have to Heartless Act this Mammoth here. And best to do it now before they can slap down a henge. Yep, that's fine. Happy enough to take that trade. No point attacking here. I'll take a scry, because we really need to hit some other action. I guess that'll do. Yeah, those are both bad decisions. So I'm just going to hold up the cycling on the triome here. Obviously no point attacking again. Cool. 3 mana to draw a card. Suits me fine. The hand obviously can't be too good. That's fine. I mean, it means I can't attack with the Wind Robbers, which is annoying. So I'm actually going to play this now, so that I can play of one mind. Nice to get rid of those. We'll play out our little crabby crab. And I think we can call that a turn. So I'm just going to set a bunch of stops to bluff having something pop back out of full control. Well, that's suboptimal. Not much we can do about it though. Don't have a counter spell in hand. Cobbler's not what we want to see either. That's pretty nice. I'm actually going to fire this off now to... I was going to say to try and hit a land drop so I can cast this, forgetting that I'd already made a land drop. So I can get through with the flyers. Yeah, I definitely shouldn't have cast into the story when I did. That was a mistake. So now our opponent knows our shields are down. And we also just hit lands, which is unfortunate. We can at the very least steal... we can probably steal Kogla. Just something. What does he fight here? So he fights one of the Wind Robbers. So we'll sack it in response, draw a card. Sure. So to get this, I'd need to tap 6, which would be all of my mana this turn. But that doesn't actually seem that risky. Because this deck does not have a lot of interaction. They've already got Great Henge down, which is the thing I'm most concerned about. Obviously, I don't want them to get a Feasting Troll King either. But if I have a Kogler, the Troll King's a little bit less scary. Okay, and they just scoop it up like that. Beautiful. Okay. How do I want to sideboard? How do I want to sideboard? Do I want negate? I maybe want negate. Let me think. Let's go 2 Blood Chiefs first. We take out this. I think I remember this properly. And we just ignore negate. This hand really isn't very good. It does have Ruin Crab and Lull Mage's Domination, both of which I want. But it means I'm not really doing anything till turn 4. This isn't hugely better. And what do I put back? Well, that's something. And got a little bit better. So I think we do play Soaring Thief first here to get the extra mill. So we'll play this first. See what we draw here. And I'm going to kill Lovestruck Beast now to keep them off an early henge. Ruin Crab's actually pretty good, given that I'm probably trying to mill them here. I mean, I am sort of ahead in the damage race at the moment, but that probably does not stay the case for long. Okay, they skip it up. Beautiful. Okay, I'll definitely take the play. So this hand is on the borderline of what I'd consider keeping. I mean, we've got these for turn 1 and turn 2, which do get us some mill to turn this on, and this. But the hand's a bit one-dimensional, doesn't do a whole lot. I am going to keep it. I'm still struggling to figure out what I should and shouldn't keep with this deck. It's definitely not an easy deck to pilot. Last night I kept getting served up 1 land hands, which is terrible. But yeah, often a hand that looks good can end up being quite terrible. Okay, so we're up against a Scoot Swarm deck. So obviously we're just holding up the other Enforcer, flash in an end step. And Golgari, interesting. That's fine. So I get 1 less mill trigger. But we're still up to 5 in our opponent's yard, which is pretty good. So I'm going to play this for blue so that I have Didn't Say Please held up. Okay, Sultai Scoot Swarm, probably some sort of mutate angle to it. There it is. So I'm just going to get rid of this off the bat. Obviously, I would prefer to use a removal spell for something like that. Ruin Crab's nice, and my Thieves Guild's up to a 3-2 Death Touch. Such a good card, Enforcer. Obviously, I prefer to use a removal spell on a creature because we have precious few counter spells in this deck. Garrick, okay. 3 Extinction Events. And 3 of their Scoot Swarms, okay. So we've probably hurt them pretty badly with our mills. I think that's a bunch of their... Usually a deck that runs Scoot Swarm is built for Scoot Swarm. Target the Ruin Crab, okay, interesting. Yeah, we don't have a lot of counter spells in this deck. We have 4 Drown in the Lock and a single Say Please, so you often do want to prioritize the removal for dealing with creatures, but we don't have any at the moment. We do have the Domination, I guess. Double Heraldic Banner, okay, so they're definitely ramped. And any creature they play now is a threat. Heartless Act. So even if I fire off into the story, I can't save this, so I think I just let it go. I could potentially hit a Thieves Guild Enforcer, but I think that's such an edge case. I'd rather just keep them guessing. I think the value of keeping them guessing is higher than the value of potentially hitting the... Yeah, and I wouldn't have got it anyway. So I may actually end up using Agadeem's Awakening here. So I think I still play the crab out. I'm going to hold on to this for 1 more turn. I'm still at a point in the game where I can win through damage or through mill. I don't feel like I need to commit yet. And given that everything here is 2 mana, I can only hold up 2 things anyway, so tapping 1 to play the crab is fine. Just hold up the land for now. Counter that, obviously. I said this deck does not actually seem particularly built around Scoot Swarm, so it's strange that it's in here. And it even has non-land ramp. So yeah, this deck seems pretty janky so far. Yeah, I'll take that definitely. So I can afford to buy Lurrus here and still have Essence Scatter held up. Ooh, Brokos. No, don't want them drawing cards. And I will actually fire this off here, because I could potentially hit a land drop. Definitely hit a land drop. And I was going to say I might draw into a counter spell for my opponent's turn, but I do not. So this is just a Sultai good stuff pile by the looks of it, which is bizarre. Definitely admire my opponent for trying to brew, but I don't see something like that being good enough in this format. So what do I want to bring in? I probably want to cling at least one Cling to Dust. I think Negate will be more helpful than Mystical Dispute here. Their big threats all seem to be, obviously they had Scoot Swarm there, but their threats seem to be more Planeswalker based, so I don't know that Lull Mage's Domination is going to be particularly helpful. Blood Chief's Thirst is a consideration, definitely. Honestly, I think I can just leave it like this. I don't think I need to change too much. I don't think this is, I mean, obviously it depends what my opponent brings in from the sideboard. So obviously this combination is really nice to see in my opening head, but I can't actually play it. I could play this turn 1 to have the, and shock in to have the Thieves Guild Enforcer open, but it looks a little awkward. Like, it's a really nice mix of spells and like interaction, and Of One Mind is turned on, but the lands are pretty awkward, so I'm gonna mull. So I've been punished pretty badly by these sorts of things before. So this hand is virtually identical, but I do not want to mull to 5, so I'm going to keep this. I'll put a Ruin Crab on the bottom, and sadly I'm going to have to lead on Fabled Passage, so that I can have Ruin Crab turned on to enable Drown in the Lock. Obviously that's 6 mils that I've missed out on. Okay, so I was going to say, if they brought in Skyclave Shade, I'd probably need to remove Ruin Crab. So now that we've seen the Skyclave Shade, and I don't have access to Cling to Dust right now, Scoot Swarm as well, so we need to commit pretty quickly to winning through damage, is the message that this is sending me. It's unlikely we can grind through Skyclave Shade with the amount of mill in our deck. So we just need to try to get them dead quickly. We haven't hit our land drop. I want to hold up Drown in the Lock because I am behind. I don't want to fall further behind. So if I'd flashed in Soaring Thought Thief and or Thieves Guild Enforcer, obviously I would have got more mill and then more damage because this would have grown. But I feel like Drown in the Lock is important to stop us from falling further behind. Okay, so I'm actually just going to scoop it up here. There's still a chance we can win, definitely, but missing those land drops is painful. Yeah, missing those land drops is painful. And we're just pretty far behind. On board, on land. As I said, like we could have still won that, but I would rather just save my energy and move on. Conserve my mental resources, as it were. So I've taken out the Ruin Crab because I don't want to mill Skyclave Shades, and I've brought in 2 Lull Mage's Dominations because they can answer the Shade by stealing it. And Blood Chief's Thirst is just a nice little cheap piece of interaction. It's nice to have. This hand looks nice at first glance, and I was going to keep it. My first instinct was to keep, but actually looking at it, this hand does very little. The only functional card in this hand at the moment is Soaring Thought Thief, and I'd be relying on that to turn both of these 2 cards on, so if it gets removed, I've essentially got blank cardboard. So I think I need to mulligan this. This hand is even worse. So stuff like this happens to me a lot. Like I get a bad hand and then I get a very similar bad hand. So I'm gonna lead on this. I think I need something else right now. I hate sending away untapped mana early in the game, but there's just so much riding on this one card. At least this hand has a better catch-up mechanism. Yep, Skyclave Shade. There's another Shade, so that's unfortunate. I'm actually just going to hard pass this now while I can. Okay, that's good. I don't think I want to take extra damage from this. I think I play this before combat to get the extra mill trigger. And then I might as well play this. So I was considering blocking Shade with the Wind Robber just to soak up some damage, but since they've hit a Fabled Passage, there's really no point. Okay, that was interesting, because I could have just done this after combat to replay the Shade. So I think I actually will block here. So I don't have a third source of blue to activate the Shade yet. So I'm just going to fire this off. Drone in the lock is nice, and then next turn I can actually steal this Shade. Or the Scoot Swarm. Actually, the Scoot Swarm might be the better option. Sure. Sure. So we take a bit of damage here, but if I steal the Swarm, that can start making blockers for me. Opponent's thinking through their turn, I guess. I mean, I'm tapped out, so there's nothing I can do. Maybe they haven't noticed that. Maybe they're just trying to think about sequencing. Maybe they've disconnected. Either way, it's not the best experience for the person on the other end of it. So I'm definitely winning the damage race, which is interesting. I should not be, but here we are, given that they've been attacking with a 3-1. Yeah, so I think my opponents are disconnected, which is unfortunate. So next turn they will be able to mutate Brokos if they want to. Obviously mutating them onto the Scoot Swarm would be pretty brutal, so we definitely need to steal that. And we're going to do it before playing a land. Feels bad to take advantage of an opponent who's disconnected, but you know they would do the same to us. 2 Scoot Swarms. So I am going to attack here. Yeah, I mean, I do hate this aspect of Arena. Like, sometimes you need to step away, or sometimes you get disconnected, and then you lose a turn and your opponent keeps playing. Yeah, it's a big feels bad. But I really wanted to do this as well. Should be very difficult for my opponent to win from here, anyway. And they did get most of their turn. I think that they did miss a land drop though, which is unfortunate for them. And an attack step. So our opponent's disconnected. That's unfortunate. I mean, they're not even hovering over things, or I doubt they're even salt roping. I think they've just lost their connection. Poor guy.